Hey guys, Alex from 7th Hour Films, and today I'm going to be starting a new reaction series to Demon Slayer, Kimetsu no Yaiba? I'm going to assume that might be how it's pronounced. Anyway, yeah, Demon Slayer. Nobody voted for this. I chose this on my own. A couple weeks ago we finished off Cowboy Bebop, and obviously, when one show ends, another one begins. And I decided, you know what? This is kind of one of the other, I guess, big ones right now. Like, I feel like it's this, My Hero, and Attack on Titan, or maybe you could say a big three of sorts. I admit that does sort of discount all the other stuff that's going on right now. I know there's Jujutsu Kaisen, or maybe Hunter x Hunter or something. I don't know, but anyway, I've never seen Demon Slayer at all, and here we go. I'm going to watch Demon Slayer for you guys. So, yeah. I don't really know too much about Demon Slayer from the little, and I mean little, I mean like pictures that I have seen, and the pictures that I see for the thumbnails of the first 4 episodes. This looks like maybe not modern times, maybe couple 100 years ago, interesting stuff. I already am enjoying just the art style. I see a couple characters here with some masks on. Those look pretty cool. But I don't have too much else to go on. I know there's like this dude. The dude is the main character. I assume he is the Demon Slayer. And there's like this girl. And I think he like carries her around on his back. That's the extent of my knowledge. With the only other exception being that the movie, I believe the movie is the highest grossing anime movie of all time. Don't quote me on that, but I think it's that one. I think Demon Slayer is that. I think. Maybe it's something else. I don't know. But anyway, it looks interesting, and it's one of the anime that pops up with My Hero and Attack on Titan and all the other recurring seasonal anime, I suppose. So yeah, I'm going to be watching it for you guys. This is going to be the English dub because I don't know, I guess I'm a normie that does that. Sometimes I guess I don't sometimes do subs, but I could have. I chose not to. We're doing the English dub. That's fine. I'm sure it's fine. I enjoy English dubs, so yeah, I'm sure there might be a couple people who would rather I stick to the purity of the sub, but honestly, unless it's a really, really bad dub, and it's gotta be like really bad, then I'll go over to the sub. Or if I just happen to watch the sub first. Like, I'm currently watching Spy Family, basically as every episode comes out. And I watched it in the sub first, but I'm also watching it in the dub when that comes out too. So, anyway, we're watching this dub is what I'm saying. The other thing we should mention is because it is the first episode of the show, and so full length is available for free. So if you want to watch my full unedited reaction to this episode of Demon Slayer, you can for completely free. Normally, I do put this behind a paywall on my Patreon page, but I always offer this little sample at the beginning of every season. So yeah. So what you gotta do is head down in the description or into the pinned comment. There will be a link. It'll say watch the full length reaction here. You click on that link. It does take you over to my Patreon page, but remember this is a completely free thing, so you're not gonna have to pay even though you're on my Patreon. And basically, there will be no show footage because I cannot just give you the full episode. That is wholesale illegal. But what you can do is sync up your copy of this episode of Demon Slayer to my footage, basically. I've made it as easy as possible. There'll be a little countdown. I'll go 3, 2, 1, and, right after the 1, you click play on Demon Slayer, and it should all sync up nice and good. It probably doesn't matter what version you use. I imagine the footage, if you just have the sub version, the footage should match up anyway, so yeah. And yeah, I'm watching this on Crunchyroll, so if that helps. I don't know if there's specific versions, if you're on Netflix, I don't know. But anyway, I've made it as easy as possible. You can watch that. if you don't want to do that, if you just want to watch the nice edited reaction that does have show footage, that is also in the description and in the pinned comment. It will say, watch the reaction highlight here. That link will take you over to, well, the reaction. You can watch it, have a good time. If that link does not work for whatever reason, I do have a second link as a backup. It's exactly the same video. So it'll say, if that link doesn't work, try this. That'll take you, again, to the exact same video. Hopefully that one will work. And when you're done with any of those, whether you watch the reaction highlight or the full-length reaction, I do highly encourage you to come back to this YouTube video and watch the discussion, because I always like to discuss these episodes, that we watch. And it's always fun. It's always fun to do these discussions and really sort of analyze what we're watching. So, yeah. With that said, why don't we just go ahead and jump right into Season 1, Episode 1 of Demon Slayer. Here we go. Well, oh, that was a hoot. that was interesting. All right, I like this. Now see, I don't know if this is supposed to take place like in the past or anything. I swear those were just electrical power lines, but I don't know. That could just mean early 1900s for all I know. But immediately, I love the style of this show. It's great. Now, I gotta look up the two voice actors, one for Tanjiro and then the other being Giyu Tomioka. Yes. I have to look them up because it's going to drive me crazy. However, what I'm going to say is I think Tanjiro is the same voice as Koichi, which is hilarious. And I'm almost 100% positive that Giyu is Johnny and Bosch. And that's mainly because right now I'm in the middle of Code Geass. So I listen to Johnny and Bosch's voice so much. So, and don't worry, I'm not going to look up. I'm not going to go to the wiki or anything. I'm not going to run into any spoilers. Basically, what I am going to do is simply look up Tanjiro, if I could spell that correctly. Tanjiro voice actor into Google. Then all you have to do is go to behindthevoiceactors.com, and this will tell you. And I can already see that I'm correct. I can already, because I recognize Zach Aguilar, I'm gonna say. Yeah, I already know that is the voice of Koichi Hirose from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. And that's fine. It's funny. Yeah, there he is. Koichi Hirose. Let me see if I find anything else. That's fine. If you watch my JoJo's Bizarre Adventure reactions. Oh, he's also the voice of Genos. Well, see, that's cool. I like that. If you watch my JoJo reactions, you know that I absolutely despise Koichi. But, I mean, I'm not going to put that against the man or any of his other voices. So, there's a good voice. Good voice for Tanjiro. So then, Giyu Tomioka, voice actor into Google. And, yep, Johnny and Bosch. I don't even need to look. I already know who Johnny and Bosch is. He's the voice of Albert in Gankutsuo, the Count of Monte Cristo. He's the voice of Lelouch v. Britannia of Code Geass. He is the voice of Jonathan Joestar of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Phantom Blood. He is the voice of Artemis in Sailor Moon. I know Johnny and Bosch, and hearing Johnny and Bosch, that's amazing. And it's also amazing because y'all friggin' missed out on Code Geass reactions. Man, you friggin' wish I had given up on polls earlier, because if so, I would have reacted to Code Geass, and you people are missing the fuck out because you never voted for it. But nobody voted for Demon Slayer, and that's just kind of... I'm just gonna say, if any of you are curious, if you've been watching my channel for a while, I think I've kind of given up on doing polls for shows. I think I'm just gonna watch whatever I friggin' want to. And now, I want to watch Demon Slayer, and I really want to watch Demon Slayer now because, my god, this was interesting. Okay. So, that said, simple plot for the first episode. Let's all be honest, but an interesting plot. So, demons. Demons that are like vampires. Oh, God, excuse me. Demons that are like vampires, basically. I mean, I guess it's an interesting thing because, I mean, it is different from, I guess, sort of the Western view of vampires, you know, the sort of Bela Lugosi, Nosferatu, Castlevania vampires that, you know, these elegant beings who live in castles and drink the blood of their victims and stuff. These are just fucking monsters. These are monsters, but they seem to be, at least from what I can tell, maybe there will be different kinds of demons later, but the base type of demon so far is a human demon. A person that has been transformed into a demon, and that is the case with Nezuko. So that's interesting. That's already interesting that yeah, it seems to be a human type demon, which I guess you could also, I guess it's sort of a cross between vampire and zombie, you know? But again, it's different from the, you know, the more Western version of zombies is, you know, the guys with the missing flesh and they slowly come towards you and stuff. And that's fine, you know, that's been in so many different movies and stuff. But I like here that it is still much more human, you know, like there's nothing rotting off of her. Giyu even said, which I don't know if he's going to be called Giyu or Tomioka, but we'll figure that out as the show goes on. But for now, I'm going to call him Giyu. So if that sounds cringe to people who have seen this show, then I understand it, because there have been times, like if I go back to my old, like, My Hero reactions, like, oh, so let's see what's going on with Izuku, and it's like Midoriya or Deku, you know? Not that Izuku is wrong, and not that Giyu is technically wrong, but I don't know. Anyway, I gotta take a drink. It is the end of the day, so my voice is going a little bit, but that's okay. We're still going to talk about this. But yeah, but I like immediately that these demons, like, you know, when he talked about demons, when Sobaru, I think that was his name, the guy in the little house that Tanjiro stayed with, when he was talking about demons, and it's like, okay, so this is obviously Demon Slayer. There are demons, you slay them. I get the purpose of the show. I get the what we're gonna be doing here. I understand that. But honestly, I was sort of expecting more, you know, monster-like demons. You know, I guess sort of in the same way we mentioned Castlevania, the demons in that show, which are very, you know, monster-like. You know, they don't look human at all. But it's interesting to see, and I don't know. Are we going to get something like that? I mean, just seeing from the OP there at the end, which is weird to say, but whatever. But I'm pretty sure that was the OP. There's a dude with a fucking boar on his head or something. I don't know what the hell that was about. But yeah, I don't know if that guy's a demon or if that guy just has a very specific lifestyle. I don't know. We're not there yet, but I don't know. Are we going to get those more monster, like, in terms of appearance, a more monster-like demon? I kind of assume we would at some point. Like, I would assume that Nezuko is a sort of like baseline demon, you know, and especially because she just got turned, you know. she just got turned, but yeah, but that's really interesting. And yeah, just starting off, very, very nice, and yeah, because you start off with Tanjiro carrying Nezuko through the woods and like, oh, don't worry, your big brother's gonna save you. And then cut to, whatever, hours earlier, I guess the day before, where it's like, oh, here's this happy family and everything's all nice and good and we're going to have a good new year and stuff. Which, the more I think about that, this is a quick aside. I'm curious, is New Year more set, at least now, we're talking about nowadays, is New Year like bigger in Japan than Christmas? Because I know Christmas is more like a romantic holiday now. I'm not talking about whenever the hell this takes place, but I don't know. I'm just kind of curious because they also made a big mention of that in My Hero Season 5, where it's like, hey, you have the Christmas party, that's all fine and good, but then you're allowed to go home and see your family for New Year. I don't know. Just a thought that passed through my head. But anyway, so yeah, happy family, everything's great. Tanjiro's gonna go out and sell the charcoal and make the cash, and they're gonna have a great New Year and everything. And yeah, he goes to the town and immediately establishes Tanjiro is a good boy. He's the boy that everybody kind of turns to. It's like, oh, he's the good, reliable boy, and they immediately establish his nose that. Yeah, he has a very heightened sense of smell, and he can smell a broken pot and realize, no, that was a cat, that wasn't this guy or anything. And from, I don't know, maybe like a half mile back, he could smell the smell of blood coming from his house. But even with that, just going into his house, he could distinguish the different smells. Like, okay, he smells Nezuko, and he smells the rest of them and their blood and everything. But there's also another smell in there, and that's presumably the original demon who turned Nezuko. So, yeah. So that's all interesting. And it's also very interesting that... so demons are real. Demons are absolutely real. But they seem to not be common knowledge, Now, granted, it was not discussed in the town, but the old man telling Tanjiro about this, he didn't really get it. He didn't really know. He didn't think demons were real. And then, yeah, they're just, in this cabin, out in the woods. Like, they literally are in just a remote cabin in the woods. Like, you expect to look over and see Walter White's cabin from the end of Breaking Bad or something, And so they live in such this this remote place, but at the same time, demons do exist. They're practically like wild animals. It's like he said. Could a bear have could have been a bear that didn't find a place to hibernate or anything? But no, it's more of it's just a demon. So that's an interesting thing. Yeah, see my hair is sticking up a little bit, so try to put that down. Anyway, but yeah, I don't know. It's just sort of an interesting thing that it's like demons are real, but it's not common knowledge, at least not to someone like Tanjiro. There are the people though that are they're older, they're wiser. His grandmother, for instance, and then the old man that he stayed with that night. And they know that demons exist, but also demon slayers exist. Like, this is a thing. But I don't know. It just seems interesting that someone like Tanjiro just doesn't know about this, Not until it happens. And yeah, as soon as he, started to go back to his house, it finally hit me like, oh, they're all fucking dead. I getcha. I getcha. Oh, my nose. My nose is so stuffy, it's making noises when I try to breathe. Anyway. But yeah, so that, yeah, and yes, that is sad, seeing all of them dead. But then, the other part of that Nezuko has been tainted, and she has now turned into a demon herself, which is interesting. So, that stuff is really interesting. Okay, now that I think about this, I love the setting. This looks like, now again, I don't know, because again, It looked like there were power lines, but I don't know. Maybe those are just, laundry lines. They're probably not, but I don't know. But I don't know when this is supposed to take place, or if this is supposed to be, if it's not, on our specific timeline, maybe if it's like Full Metal, where it's like, well, it's the 20s, but it's obviously not our world, But I love the setting and the atmosphere for this. Obviously, first off, the snow in the forest. I just love that. And the art is really, really nice. But also just the style of, the cabin, their dress, Giyu's sword and everything. Like, I'm really enjoying this almost, I don't want to say like traditional, but I guess a more non-contemporary or more, I don't, hey, hang on. What's the, it's not ancient, it's not modern or contemporary. It's whatever that sweet spot is of like, but within the last couple hundred years, that sort of Japanese style. I guess we'll just say old school for now. That sort of old school Japanese look, and I like that. And honestly, it reminds me, at least just right now, because I don't consume much media that has, that sort of old school Japanese look to it of like, this could have been, it could be, early 1900s, but also even further back than that. But the other thing I would think about is the game Okami, because it's like the only other piece of media I've consumed that is sort of in that, older sort of Japanese style, So that's interesting. And in that one, I feel like in playing that game, I did get just a little crash course on some, aspects of, Japanese culture and everything. So I'm really hoping that is going to be the same thing here. And I think that is just from the style and the tone of everything. I think I am going to be getting some stuff. I mean, hell, just off the bat, Japanese New Year, we're going to do this. We're going to have a great Japanese New Year. Obviously, it's not going to happen now, but that's an important thing. That's an important holiday for this family, So I really enjoy that. But yeah. And then after Nezuko awakens as a demon, and we get our encounter with Giyu, the demon slayer. And I do like that. The sort of what I would call back-ass motivation, where, he's saying all these things to, and all these insulting things to Tanjiro, but it's a test. It's a test, and he's trying to see if Tanjiro will get up and fight back, And I really like some of that stuff. And yes, now, would I like that to happen to me? Obviously, no. I don't think anybody wants to go through something like that. But that's always interesting in shows or in media where it's like, okay, it's back-ass motivation, as I call it. And, he's saying, oh, you're a weakling. You shouldn't even live. How could you not know all this stuff? And it's like, oh, you're pathetic. You should just, go die, go be eaten by a demon. And while all of that probably does hurt Tanjiro to hear, it still drives him to go forward, It doesn't actually push him back. It drives him to go forward, especially to protect his sister, To protect the last of his family, So I like that. And yeah, then that also extends to, well, first off, we see Tanjiro being clever and, chucking the axe, or hatchet, as he said, chucking the axe at Giyu. But then to see after that where, Nezuko, she is a starving demon and should, just lash and try to eat anything she can, but she isn't eating Tanjiro. She is specifically protecting him, So, yeah, these two are different. There is something different about both of them, Even though Giyu has seen this sort of thing before, but for some reason, Tanjiro and Nezuko are different. So I like that. And yeah, it has piqued his curiosity enough to allow Nezuko to live and allow Tanjiro to go on this path to try to cure her. Now, they also, when they both woke up, she had, this thing in her mouth. And that is another thing I have seen. If you see the characters, I think you see Nezuko with the like bamboo thing in her mouth. And I'm curious because they didn't explain that, but I'm curious if that is specifically like if it's just something, to keep her mouth shut, or if there's something, something in there to keep her sedated, because after she woke up and had this thing in her mouth, she's completely fine. She doesn't have the crazy sort of angry look on her anymore. She looks kind of normal now. So I'm curious if maybe that will be explained or not. I don't know. Maybe it's just bamboo's tough. She can't eat through it. I don't know. But now we have our mission to head to Mount Sagiri. This is gonna test my pronunciation skills, and I thought My Hero Academia, gave me a run for my money when they start off with Izuku Midoriya, and I was like, whoa, okay, I'm used to 4Kids dubs where it's Joey Wheeler. I'm not used to Japanese names like this, but just immediately with Giyu, Tomioka, yes, Tanjiro, Nezuko, those are pretty easy. But then, this, and then whatever he said for the old man who's on this mountain, it's like, okay, I'm going to have a friggin' run for my money in terms of these Japanese pronunciations. But I'm up for the challenge. And great first episode. I'm already hooked. I'm really enjoying this. And I hope you're going to enjoy following along with me. So every Sunday at noon, there will be a new episode of Demon Slayer. Mostly unless I take a break, but if I take a break, I will tell you in advance, which we will. We will have a break. I think after episode 4, we're going to have a quick 1-week break for Christmas, but then we'll be right back. So yeah. But that is basically it. With all that being said, I'm Alex from 7th Hour Films, and I will see you guys next time. Take care. Alright guys, thanks for watching this video. There's a bunch of links on screen if you want to go click around any of those. There's a playlist for all of my Demon Slayer reactions, even though at the time of recording there's only going to be one in there, but whatever. There's also another video you can go click on if you want. There's also a subscribe button and a Patreon button on screen, as well as other links in the description if you want to go check out any of those. See you guys later.